is Fleet and Footy on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network, sponsored by Alive Credit Union.
Welcome into Fleet and Footy, and we start with an absolute rocket. It's something we say quite often in soccer highlights. So I figured let's start with an actual rocket. This, of course, last night over at the Ponte Vedra District Championship game. They were playing beachside, and Ponte Vedra, good spot if you want to watch a rocket because you're right there by the coast. So I said, you know what, I'm going to get a little shot of the rocket and some soccer at the same time. So hopefully the folks at home enjoy this view as much as I did last night. I love living here on the First Coast in Northeast Florida and getting a chance to see stuff from down at the Space Coast down in Cape Canaveral. There we go. We're out to the wide shot. Welcome in to another edition of Fleet and Footy. Stuart Weber here along with Louis Llerandi, and we've got a special guest for today's show. It's Nathan Walter, Jacksonville Armada team president, joining us in the building. Nathan, how you doing?
I'm good. This is very, very cool. What a great setup.
The people have been waiting. They've been waiting for this episode. I know that.
Yeah, we've been fortunate to have some good guests throughout this first couple months of the program. We're excited to bring Nathan Walter on. We're going to talk a lot about the future of the Jacksonville Armada today, a lot about the stadium. That's what everybody wants to talk about, certainly, not just for the Jacksonville Armada, but really in general. That's, when you talk about big plans and big futures, a stadium always comes up as a big part of that. So we'll certainly get into all of that over this next hour right here on Fleet and Footy on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Before we get into that stadium stuff and talk about what happened on Monday, which was a great day for the franchise, for the club, let's talk a little bit about you and your involvement with the club, Nathan. You've been here since the very beginning, one of the few that were here from that first kickoff inside the bank to where we are now a decade later.
Yeah, I think I'm getting close to having a gravestone ready to go here. But I'm very humbled, very blessed. In this sport, it's very rare to be around as long as I have with one group specifically. So to be there from day one, to have sailed the seas and the rough seas, it has been for many different reasons, many different situations. But we're here, and I feel very blessed that I've been in a position to be able to help lead and strategize and move the club forward. So, that's the plan, and we're now getting to a very exciting period for us.
When you first started, what was your official title?
So I actually started with the holding company at the time, which was Sunshine Soccer Group, and I was director of soccer.
I remember
operations.
That flag, by the way, had the Jacksonville
Andrew
city
Jackson
flag.
It's a good little logo.
It was a great logo.
It was a good placeholder.
I think someone copied it, but but no, it was a great logo, and the excitement around it at that time, and I was involved in multiple stuff. We had a player agency, we had soccer camps and clinics program that was operating out of Texas and Oklahoma and some of the local areas. So to be a part of that was great, and literally the journey of our NASL bid and us actually being accepted into the North American Soccer League at the time, to moving into brand new offices downtown for the first time and walking in and there's zero furniture, and within a period of time it turned pretty quickly, and we ramped up operations from the holding company to what is now known as the Jacksonville Armada, which was in the NASL. So it was good times.
How wild were those early years? I mean, playing a game inside the bank, inside Everbank Stadium, and then the majority of the games at the baseball grounds, where it was not an ideal soccer situation, but it was the situation that maybe made some sense at the time. You had the concession set up. You just constantly had to turn over the field, get rid of the mound, put the mound back in. There were some busy days back then, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was quite a production. With the club specifically, I was very much on the soccer side in the early days, but we were such a close group across the front office side. And then what I would say the business side of soccer specifically, and to see everybody on that side, the skill set of people. I talk about Matt Viduki. I might have butchered his name, or Verrecchia, sorry, actually. Viduki is actually our construction guy. But Matt Verrecchia, who was on the marketing side,
I remember
incredibly
Matt.
talented.
Sure.
We had Nikki Jackson-Smith on the partnership side, Teresa Scordo, who most people still remember, Julie Bergman. We just had some really
Julie, by the
incredible-
way, works about 200 feet from here on the radio side of Cox Media Group.
I think she actually just left the radio side, but
She worked.
She
Past
did.
tense.
She did. She was always a call when I was coming into the studio. But we just had so many talented people. Marshall Happer, an incredible individual on the operations side with bags of experience. So we had great people around, and to see everybody work and to put the vision of the ownership, Mark Frisch at that time, into play, and it exploded. I mean, it really did. So, it was a good start. It was a good start. It was good times.
By the way, shout out to Mark Frisch. Seabest sponsoring a NASCAR sponsorship this year. Ty
there
Dillon.
you go.
You're going to see the Seabest car at Daytona and 20 other races throughout the course of the year. So
Very cool.
Shout out to the Frisch family and Beaver Street Fisheries here in Northeast Florida. Now, more recently, I don't know what this shot is here. We got you kicking a field goal there. More recently, you've obviously been leading the charge here for the Jacksonville Armada and for the fleet, as you said, sailing through these kind of uncharted waters. What had the last few years been like for you? You mentioned all these talented people. The last couple of years, there have still been a couple talented people around you, but not nearly as many, right? I mean, it's really been a smaller group trying to figure out how do we keep this thing moving forward.
Yeah, well, firstly, we've been really blessed by having an owner within Robert Palmer who has put the investment in, has made the commitment. Back in 2017, it was really shaky, and no one truly knew what the future could hold. But from day one, we knew that we had a focus on infrastructure and particularly a stadium project. And with everything that was going on around US soccer at the time, and all the politics that was going on, it was, let's focus on us. Depending on what league we get into, depending on where we could be, we need to focus on us, and we need to make sure that the next 50 to 100 years, the Jacksonville Armada has the opportunity to grow within this marketplace. So really, the focus fully went on to, let's keep the brand alive. Let's look at a soccer, what I would call a soccer development phase of the Armada. Academy, U23s, the women's U23 development team, and then let's focus on the infrastructure, which is obviously the stadium piece, which has been a huge project for us, and Robert's commitment to that, and to stay tied into it, to let US soccer landscape play itself out, has really been honourable. So it's been easy from that side of things, knowing that we have a commitment from someone behind us who's willing to back us. In regards to my office or my front office and the people around me, I tell you, I am so blessed. I'm so blessed. Just people who are not necessarily thinking monetarily about opportunity, but opportunity for this city, an opportunity for people to come in and just work hard. We have a clear culture within the club, and everybody has brought into that, and everybody's moving forward with the strategy that, the overall strategy of what we want to do within the marketplace. So just very proud of the people. We've had some great people come through, and some people leave us. Richard Santos is one of those to name.
Love our guy, Rich. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Rich came in a really difficult situation, and then stayed with us up until last year, and pushed us through. So, it laid the path for people like Lewis to then come on staff, and Corbin to come on staff, and really help us and formulate, the future now as we move into this new era.
Oh, you kind of mentioned it there a little bit. What was it like in that transition period from going from one ownership group to another, and then not only that, but jumping different leagues? I got to imagine that's got to be a difficult situation.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was really complex because we went from one ownership group to a league ownership, and then from a league ownership to another ownership, and to be able to just adapt, to deal with it, to just think, let's not play the victim kind of mentality here. Let's keep pushing forward, and and believing in the process, and that's really what happened until Robert took over. And then, Robert's energy, Robert's enthusiasm, his financial investment into where we are today, it really spurred us on to take these steps. So, yes, there were difficult days, and people were doing multiple jobs, wearing multiple hats. But the reality is we always felt we had the confidence of the people around us to keep, and that even including with the league as well, when we were league owned, we felt we had the confidence from everybody around to really keep pushing forward. So it wasn't easy. The league position piece, the NASL, really that came out of nowhere, if we're completely honest.
Yeah.
We really didn't predict that was going to happen. And then, I've been on the board of the NPSL for the last 7-8 years now, and the NPSL really caught us and put us into a safety net. And that was a crazy 2018. I think we had $500,000 on the field playing in the NPSL because we had players under contract who quite honestly didn't want to lose their contract. And again, that's another thing of the ownership group, saying, hey, we're still committed to these people. We want to be good human beings, and that led things down that path. So, yes, again, it was difficult, but it was a journey, and we made through it. So,
a big part, by the way, of that has been Section 904. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now: Daniel, Gabs, Jason, everyone jumping in and throwing in some comments. By the way, throw in your questions as well, comments, what you want us to talk about. We got the man of the hour here in studio, so let's take advantage of it and certainly ask him some questions. We got some prepared that we'll certainly go through, and we'll talk about the stadium in just 1 second. I do want to ask one more question before we get into some stadium talk, and we'll take a live look at the site and see what's going on. We'll kind of throw in the binoculars and take a look. But before that, I want to ask about you being a part of the Jacks Chamber and how important that is for the health of the team and for the city to kind of get a seat at that table, quite literally.
Yeah, well, firstly, I'm going to say something on Section 904.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are the heartbeat of this football club, and we are so blessed, the commitment and the effort that they have shown to stay with us, to stay loyal. Deep down, they are the most important people around, and I just want to say thank you to those guys for sticking in and being a part of this journey. In regards to the chamber, it's a very humbling opportunity to be, we had our first board meeting last week, and to see who's around the table, I feel honored to be a part of that group, right? And to have that access, and thankfully a lot of them have become good friends over the years, and I've been able to be involved with them on different things, and obviously different conversations are happening across the business side of the organization, and then the community in large. So no, I'm very humbled, very blessed, very honored. And I want Jacksonville to be better than what it is today as well. I've been here now for over 10 years. This is what we call home, and to play a small part, or what potentially is a small part, for the city is very exciting. So.
We just saw some of the pictures from the most recent big announcement from the Jacksonville Armada. Of course, the MLS Next Pro announcement from last year, and the excitement of building towards that return of pro soccer here in Northeast Florida. Let's take a look, shall we? Jason, if you've got that shot for me, this
Boom.
Right here is the site of your future Jacksonville Armada Stadium. And look, it's real now, right? We mobilized the site on Monday, meaning we had some key stakeholders down there, some of the important people in this process come and take a look at the site. You see the black fencing around that stadium site, and you see a little Jacksonville Armada logos there on the middle near that tractor. It's pretty cool when you kind of take a look at it. Right now, it's an empty canvas.
Yeah.
But over the next 12 to 14 months, that empty canvas turns into the home of the Jacksonville Armada.
That's it. There's more signage to go up. That should be going up at the end of this week.
And a mural too, right?
There's going to be a mural. Yeah, I can talk a little bit about that. That will be a fun concept that we've worked with the Eastside community and a couple of Section 904 members. Basically the mural side on we'll call it Florida Avenue, Main Street now. It was A. Philip Randolph, but it is now Florida Ave, Main Street. And we've collaborated with the community to do a cool mural on that side of the fence line, which
and that's right on the left side of what you're
on
looking
the left
at
side,
here.
correct?
Yeah, that
yep.
main
Yep.
street is Main Street.
Yep, there'll be a white canvas going on that side.
And Jason, if you can get the video ready of, I think I called it wide shots of stadium. I just want to kind of give a little perspective for maybe the people who don't know what we're looking at and where that is as far as in Jacksonville is concerned. That expressway is the one that comes off of the Matthews Bridge. So directly south of that is the former site of the Jacksonville Fairgrounds. I know they're moving out, and that's going to become property of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep.
I believe have purchased that area. But basically, this is directly on the other side of that overpass, and this is video shot from that site. So from the Armada Stadium site, it is in the Jacksonville Downtown Sports Complex. I mean, that's the practice facility right there on the left for the Jaguars with that big Jaguar head. Of course, you see the stadium off in the distance. In a second, you'll see in relation to where the arena is, the baseball grounds right there as well. So this is all right there in that same area of the downtown Jacksonville Sports Complex. As you see, it's all right there, all right in sight, all within walking distance in that same area.
Yeah, it's such an exciting area. There's so much development. I think the last numbers I saw projected in downtown is about $6 billion in development. Projected in the sports entertainment district is about $2.5 billion worth of development. So, it's an area that's about to be completely different over the next 5 to 10 years. And what's cool about that is all our brothers and sisters in the sports entertainment are there. We have the hockey, we have the baseball, and obviously we have our NFL team in town. So to be a part of that and to be in and around them, we couldn't have asked for a better location.
Yeah, I mean, it's great when you just consider the overall. You can go watch just about any sport in that area now. Obviously, you've got the return of professional basketball coming in May of 2026 with the Upshot League. That was just announced on Monday.
That's right.
Monday as well. Professional women's basketball coming and playing in the arena. You've got arena football as well with the Jacksonville Sharks playing there. You mentioned the Icemen, the Jumbo Shrimp, the Jaguars. Everything is right there, and soccer with the Jacksonville Armada. So it's all very exciting, Lou.
You got some neighbors there. You mentioned the Jacksonville Jaguars, but my personal favorite neighbors are those Eastside community members. We talk about them a lot in the Eastside Historic CDC and Miss Dawn and so on and so forth. What do you think is going to be the main driver in the community, like when that stadium goes up?
Yeah, look, we can talk about the economic impacts and everything like that on the East side of things, but the reality is, and I've said this a lot, if you look at what a global soccer club is to most global communities, it's a community asset. And that community asset can umbrella a bunch of different things. And everything from simple stuff as like what we're already doing, right? The MLS Go clinic on a Friday night on the East Side, giving opportunity for the children and the residents of that community to play soccer, to get a touch and feel for the game. We can do events. We can host. We've talked about the foundation play at some point here, right? We know it behind the scenes. We're working on the foundation and what that can provide to the community, from educational concepts to physical health and wealth and so on, right? So, there is a wider scope of what this community asset becomes with the community. It would completely please me, if we had 1,000 fans from the East Side walking out of their homes to walk into our stadium and be a part of that game day experience, So that's what we want. It's something that I've seen growing up in England. You have these stadiums built and there's residential homes within a stone throw away. So, this is normal to me. And for us to have that ability to be part of the sports entertainment district and the East Side, and to combine both of them and be that bridge, I mean, I think we have a truly exciting opportunity here to do something that's pretty unique. So yes, there are so many good people out on the east side who take responsibility as well. They don't just blame; they take responsibility for where the east side is, and they want to do good things within that community as well. So it's definitely been a great collaboration. There really is some amazing, credible people, and we are literally just at the forefront here of being a big part of how that community reshapes over the next 10 years.
Yeah, it's been awesome to see some of those kids in that MLS Go program who have never touched a soccer ball, who have never kicked a soccer ball in a goal. And you get to see the coaches out there, and Nathan's hopped in on a couple sessions, and it's just really cool to see how the influence is already taking shape in the east side just by doing these little programs here and there.
You know, we can overcomplicate the game, right? But when it's in that environment and you're seeing it, it's purest. And the innocence of it as well, with just a soccer ball, it takes you back to when you were 6, 7 years old, 8 years old, and, you know, feeling the soccer ball and just the great memories. So, you know, when it's all said and done, creating memories is part of this, and it's great we've had that opportunity.
I never get that experience of putting in the back of the net. I mean, I only get to announce it. I never get to feel that that good vibes of putting in the back of the net as a defender who can't shoot. So let's talk about Monday, Nathan, and what all happened on Monday. Monday was the site mobilization, is what we're calling it, or a soft groundbreaking. What exactly what did that mean? As we take a look at some of the video here from this past Monday. Hey, there you are.
So we had site mobilization and soft groundbreaking, which means we had fences go up. You know, we had to adapt some of the fences. We had to put up signage. We moved some heavy equipment in to start working on some things. As you can see, we had surveyors going out, making sure that the plans we've been looking at for the last 3-4 years are truly real. And, you know, it's funny, as I was walking across the site, I'm seeing, you know, a 3/4 inch water line that I've been looking at on a map for, you know, how many years. And you're seeing an AT&T line that you know has got to get moved, and you see a gas line. And so, you know, there was a lot of mobilization out there. JEA have been out there as well the last couple of days, getting their design and markings up to start the true groundwork and get us into a position so we can fully start operating on the site. So it was a great day. It was just a special moment to share with some key people who have really been working on this project. Obviously, that's not the official groundbreaking.
Sure.
We're going to have an official groundbreaking. Robert's going to be flying in and spending some time with us, and, you know, we get to hang out with the fans in Section 904 and do some really cool things in and around that day for a ceremony. So, but Monday was kind of just a celebration of us kicking off and getting this project truly started.
And so we're targeting late March, early April for that official groundbreaking. And that's the chance that, you know, we're going to be able to bring out some special guests. Hopefully some fans can come out there and come enjoy that ceremony. I know I asked Section 904 to throw us your questions. Chavella, when do I show up with my shovel? I know everybody's really excited. They want to get that thing going. And I do think it is important to note, you were talking about a water line and a JEA line. I mean, we look at this empty patch that's been used for parking for all these years for all the downtown sporting events. You're like, all right, we'll just build on top of that. Let's go. It doesn't quite work exactly like that. Obviously, you got some trees to get rid of, but really the groundwork has to be laid. And you were saying that's going to be taking place here over the coming months, almost to the point where some of that will be in good order by the time we get to that groundbreaking.
Yeah, exactly. You know, minus any more curveballs. I'm sick of
I know you have to
curveballs.
Here,
you know,
everybody knock on this table right here.
Yeah. We don't need any more curveballs. I've been pretty good at banging some of those out lately, but you know,
I'll sign you up for the jumbo shrimp if you can.
Yeah, I don't think I could do an actual curveball. You know, but
I don't know. You kicked the field goal. We saw that in the picture earlier.
Well, that's easy. That's you know, I've been doing that since I was 8.
Yeah, there you go.
But you know, it's a process now, and now things, you know, it's going to be a timeline of things falling into place. You know, again, these things do still take time, and you know, as those things come to light, the site will be activated. We'll be doing some social content. We'll be keeping everybody up to date with the progress.
If only you had a show every week where we could tell people what the latest information is going on with the stadium. What a concept. Hey.
And you have a live camera on the site.
And we have a live camera that we can point at the site when anything cool is happening.
That is crazy.
Just make sure you text me when something cool is happening down there. We'll point that thing over there and get a little look at it.
It's very cool. Yeah, very cool.
Okay, another one of the fan questions coming from Jake Sillick. Of course, he formerly ran Section 904 back in the early days. Wants to know, how long are we looking? Is a 2026 start date still the target? And the very latest on that is that we're looking at 12 to 14 months on the construction, and that, again, provided no curveballs and knocking on wood and making sure things go the way they're supposed to go.
Yeah, well, firstly, Jake, the question back is, when are you moving back to Jacksonville?
I know.
You keep putting it off.
The good news is he can watch those games this summer on the Action Sports Shack 24/7 network. Yeah.
Don't give the opportunity for Stu to plug anymore.
Throw plugs everywhere.
So look, again, I mean, the plan is, as we keep moving forward here, is that 2026 becomes more and more viable, and that's the plan. So we'll see. Hopefully there's no pandemics or anything of that kind that have kind of derailed us over the last 3, 4, 5 years. But we're starting to go into crunch time. So
the constant shifting tectonic plates that is professional soccer in the United States. That's how I've always kind of explained professional soccer with the different leagues to people is those plates that keep moving. And right now, on target for that 2026 MLS Next Pro return. And that's a little over a year from now. So you see how those timelines kind of match up. The 12 to 14 months on the construction of the stadium versus the next season of MLS Next Pro starting within 13 months. 13? That's about right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, next February/March. So we will continue to set sail towards that way. By the way, we came out with our hashtag of the year. Team motto.
Drop the anchors.
Hashtag drop the anchors as we drop the anchors on our new home site. We like that.
We like it. It's got a lot of love.
It's nautical.
Yeah, it's got a lot of love.
We love a good nautical theme.
Drop the anchors.
1041 Albert Street, by the way, is that address, the unofficial address of the stadium right now.
Can we change that to like 1041 Nathan Street?
Well, we're talking about 1041 Armada Street.
Okay.
That's what we want.
We'll see how that one plays out.
I'll talk to my city hall people. Nathan Street. Let's make it Nathan Street.
Yeah, people, but the legacy of Albert Street is
yes.
It's pretty special.
It goes deep. It really
pretty special.
Yeah.
So we don't want to lose that either.
No, without a doubt. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break here. We got a lot more to get to with Nathan Walter. We're also going to get into our normal antics and things that we like talking about here on Fleet and Footy. We're going to talk a little high school soccer playoffs. We're in the district tournament phase of that. We got to talk about Fernandina Beach. What are they doing, Lou?
The Mighty Pirates are in the district champions. The girls play bowls tonight.
We'll talk about that coming up here a little bit later on Fleet and Footy. We'll show you some highlights from a game last night. We also got some former Armada players to feature doing some big things over across the pond as well as here in the United States. So all that's coming up next right here on Fleet and Footy on the Action Sports Shack's 24/7 network. Don't go anywhere. People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Shack's 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers. And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
The rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, with we Armada rolling off our tongues. Never will we roam, for we know our place is home. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing.
Get local sports on demand with Action Sports Jacks 24/7. All sports, all local, all the time. From the locker room to the field, the Jacks, high school football, the Jacksonville Armada, and don't forget, the Brett and Austin Show. They're all in on Trevor. Of course. Download the Action News Jacks Now app, available wherever you stream or at actionnewsjacks.com. TV, phone, laptop, desktop. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. Jacksonville sports, all the time.
2024 provided plenty of memorable moments for the Jacksonville Armada on the pitch, including another conference championship game appearance for Tommy Krasanovich's under-23 men's team. Debuting this year for the first time, the girls in blue as the Armada fielded a women's under-23 side in the WPSL and made its presence known with some highlight moments.
Potential goal of the season!
Then attention turned to the future, with MLS Next teams representing the Armada badge in 3 age divisions this fall, including an under-19 squad ranking among the best in the state. Those teams are a big focus on Fleet Footy, covering the big soccer stories each week on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
I'll put one in the back of the net for you.
Join us for player profiles, fun interviews, and the very latest on the Fleet and all things footy. That's every Thursday at 2 p.m.
This is Fleet and Footy on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Sponsored by a live credit union.
Hey, welcome back to Fleet and Footy. Here's a look at some highlights from last night. This is a district championship game, and the rebound comes to Lily Moore, settles and scores. That is the only goal in a really competitive, excellent match between Ponte Vedra, who's one of the top teams in the state, and the Beachside Barracudas, who gave them everything they wanted in that district title game. Beachside, a young program, but man, are they talented, and they hung. They hung with the Sharks, and we may see these two teams again here in the postseason as district tournaments are wrapping up. We get into the FHSAA state tournaments coming up. A lot of high school soccer going on right now. Congrats to Ponte Vedra. They get the job done. They get a 1-0 win here on Wednesday night. So shout out to the Sharks. It was also a great sight to watch a rocket launch, as we saw at the top of the show. Let's I quickly want to run down some of the matchups going on tonight as well. So some great games if you want to go check out a district title matchup. Remember, you win a district title, you're automatically into the postseason. Otherwise, you're relying on one of 4 at-large spots when it comes to the regional rankings, max preps, FH, all the other stuff that comes along with it. Easiest way, you go win your district title, and you make your way into the postseason. So some matchups on the boys' side. Funny enough, Ponte Vedra Beachside is going to be a terrific game on the boys' side. They played on the girls' side yesterday. Sharks 13-2, Beachside 12-3-2 going into that one. Bartram Trail at Matanzas. I'm not sure if that's at. Some of these district tournaments are neutral sites. Some are flipped off of what you see off the scoreboard. So double check. Don't go to Matanzas and be mad at me if it wasn't at Matanzas. Might have been at Bartram Trail. 10-3-5 versus Matanzas 12-3-1. From just south of St. Johns County, Matanzas, down there in Flagler. So that's a good one coming up. Yulee and Stanton on the boys' side. Mander and Fletcher. Mander, one of the most talented boys teams in our area, undefeated in the regular season again. 14-0-2. They take on the Beach Rats, who are 7-8-2. That's the boys' side. Girls' side, Mandarin and Fletcher playing again. The Fletcher girls, really good team, so keep an eye on them. St. John's Country Day, we know all about the Spartans, Coach Pickett and his dynasty. They're 14-3-1 this year. They will certainly be favored to go all the way in their classification. Really, once we get into that state tournament, we're going to keep an eye on St. John's Country Day, and then you got that St. John's County trio, Ponte Vedra, Creekside, Bartram Trail. Creekside, one of the top-ranked teams in the entire country. Looking to go back-to-back and win another state title. So we'll keep an eye on those. And Lou, we'll shout out Fernandina Beach. The girls taking on Bowles in their district title game tonight.
Let's go Pirates.
See how they do. The last time we tried to hype up a Fernandina Beach game, it was
didn't go over too well.
Didn't go over that well, did it?
But the girls have beat Bulls earlier this season.
Okay.
At home.
All right.
So maybe it's not too long of a drive down to the.
And again,
school.
that game might be at Fernandina. I don't know how that district tournament works.
I don't know either.
Because if they went undefeated in regular season in district play, that game could be on their home field.
That would be great. Some home field advantage up there.
If it's happening, I expect you to go get us highlights tonight.
Oof.
All right. Good stuff there. It is one of the really cool things, and we'll tie it back in here to the Jacksonville Armadas. We've got Nathan Walter, team president, here to join us. The youth soccer, and it goes from the really young levels all the way up to the prep level, is really strong in Northeast Florida, especially on the women's side, but the men's side as well. And we see it with some of these guys who transition maybe from that prep game into Jacksonville FC and play for some of their squads. But the youth football here in Northeast Florida is just tremendous right now.
Yeah, we're very blessed. I mean, the high school women's side is ridiculous. The talent pool that's coming out of that side. So it does not surprise me when we keep hearing these high schools in district finals and state championships and so on and so on, because the quality of the level is fabulous. And the men's side, it's tough on the men's side because the top players are obviously in the MLS Next Academy because they can't play high school, and then to still have high schools out there competing in state championships and so on is so impressive. So the sport, I've been in this market now for over 10 years, and the growth of the quality of player coming out is tremendous. It's a massive change. So yeah, it all plays into the same thing. And then our affiliate academies, we see plenty of Ancient City, obviously Ponte Vedra Soccer Club, JFC, CH4. All of our youth affiliate academies are feeling it as well, from the youngest age groups all the way to the top now. So we really, we're on. I've said this a couple of times, but we really are on a precipice of some really incredible people coming through Jacksonville, and we're starting to see it a little bit already on the pro side.
I'm going to go off topic here and throw you a little loop here. We didn't mention this at all, but I was seeing in the news something about how college soccer is maybe on the verge of these revolutionary changes. For one, changing to more of a year-round system, to really just changing every way they do to line up more with professional soccer around the world and almost act as a lower tier league. I'd love to get your kind of thoughts on what's going on with college soccer.
I think, the reality is that unfortunately now, if you're 23, 24 coming out of college soccer, you're a little too old.
A couple years behind.
In global soccer, you've got players playing in the Premier League now at 16, 17, 18 years old and playing in top academy levels in, the Youth Champions Leagues or the Youth FA Cups or, the Premier League 2 or so on. So, from a college standpoint, the top tier college programs have to adapt. And, what you're starting to see is the higher level players are now not going to college because they're staying in, the MLS Next Academy programs and then into MLS Next Pro and then into MLS. And the opportunity for them to be in a day-to-day environment where they're getting 2 contact sessions a day, the development is moving forward, and the college game has to innovate, it has to adapt. So it's going to be really interesting on truly how it all shapes out and how many college programs are generally involved in that shape out. But look, you said it a little bit earlier, but the most consistent thing in US soccer is change. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see a little bit of that again here on the college side.
Yeah, so Lou at 23, not looking good for the Prem.
Well, firstly, he's got to get out to the Wednesday night pickup.
Yeah, come on, Lou.
Which,
not the public call out.
Lou,
I'm calling you out.
If I go next week, Lou, I need you to come. You and me both. Let's go out there. Let's show him what Fleet and Footy can do.
He's nervous because he knows the standard.
I'm gonna need Zoltan to give me a massage after or something in the training room.
You're 23.
You're calling the athletic trainer.
You're
early
20.
doors.
You're 23. Wow. You can't go run around for an hour or two?
Man, I can't tell you the last time I actually kicked a soccer ball, and it was
I can
like
tell you it's more recent than
meaningful.
me, and I'm willing to go out there and put myself on the line.
You try out for the Armada? That was pretty recent.
That was a decade ago, man. What are you talking about recent?
We're going for a whole generation now.
Are you kidding me? You would have been 13 when that happened, Lou. So have you kicked one since then?
Yes, I have.
Okay, all right then.
I have. All right, looks like next Wednesday.
You and me.
I'll be out there at Patton Park.
At worst, we'll gather a little content for next week's
For the
Fleet
show.
and Footy.
Oh gosh.
We'll get some shots. Get some shots for the show. Okay, we're doing it.
All right.
We're locked in.
Let's lock it in.
All right, let's do it. Weather pending.
Weather pending.
I don't do cold. Or not 23. I can't handle that kind of stuff. Okay, let's talk about another one of our former players, and we talk about guys coming through this system and working their way up into the world of professional soccer. I want to talk about Ethan Dudley. Big announcement for Ethan. By the way, if you don't already follow on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, let me pull up the exact name, at NextPro News. Terrific follow. Constantly keeping an eye on all of the signings, all of the happenings when it comes to other teams in the league of the MLS Next Pro. He was right on it, and he noticed, hey, there's a trialist 30.
He did. He called it. I saw it.
He did. He called it as it happened. And this time of year, you've got these different teams that are trying out players, trying to see if they're a fit. And they won't say who it is when they send out their lineup onto social media. But Ethan Dudley was a trialist for Chattanooga FC of MLS Next Pro. Sure enough, the next day, they officially sign him. So great news for Ethan Dudley, former Jacksonville Armada captain. I mean, you see him with the captain's armband there. How cool has it been to watch his journey? Obviously, he started last year's under-23 team season with the Armada and played that first game, and then I think maybe 2 games, and then he got a call from Atlanta United 2, and sure enough, they wanted to feature him on their professional team.
Yeah, it's Ethan is what we call the player pathway, right? So let's go way back. Let's go to a 9-year-old Ethan that started at the time in the JFC Academy, and then transitioned to what was the Jacksonville Armada Youth Academy at the time, and was playing in the US Development Academy, which is now the MLS Next Academy. So Ethan's been with us for a long time, and
Change.
He's had lots of influence around him to get to where he is today. I'm comfortable in saying this, but Ethan's first kind of step into the pro side of things, he had some real adversity, and I'm so proud of the steps that he has taken personally on his personal challenge. Going from being the top youth player in the area by a long shot to then stepping into the men's game and having to adapt and become a man and become a professional. He has really taken onto that journey. So I did get a call Saturday night after the game, and he said he played very well, and it looks like they're going to be offering him something. So it was a very proud moment to hear that all the work that he's been doing in the off season, and all the effort that's going into how he's handled himself as a professional was rewarded, and we're so happy for him, and we're excited to see him really make himself a staple in what isn't an independent club in the league next year, and to really put a footprint on this league for him.
You talked about it there, the change with all these different leagues that he had to come through to make it to the professional ranks. You've obviously been in that academy system for a long time, between doing it in England and now doing it over in the United States. What has that change been like to be able to see a player like Ethan Dudley come in through a system, stay in the system in Jacksonville, and then move professionally? Yeah,
well, we have proof of product now. And not only is it Ethan, but Micah Thomas, who recently, I think with Micah, we've known for a very long time that there's potential and talent there, right? We've kind of had a thought process that Micah could be the best thing to come out of Northeast Florida from a soccer standpoint. On the men's side, obviously on the women's side, we've been very successful with some national team players. But from the men's side, could Micah really go and take his career to the next level? And he's still on the journey. He hasn't achieved it yet, but he's made a massive step. And this all comes down to the things that have been put in place over the last 10, 15 years. When we talk about people within our marketplace, Tommy Krzanovich has been a huge part of that. Pat Cannon has been a huge part of that. Coaches in the affiliate academy sides that have been a huge part of that. Clay County is turning out players after players. Matt Hollyoak's been a part of that. There's some real core people, even to the point of the days of JFC when it was hardly anything. And Mike Levine, I got to see Mike earlier actually.
Yeah, we had him on the show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a great show. But there's all these people over the past 10 to 15 years who have done tremendous work in our community to build the standards, to understand the standards, and we're not there yet. We're still not there. We don't have the infrastructure in place yet. A sports performance center is needed that is focused to create the environment and the professionalism of taking these players to the next level. We've just started to open up the door to lower professional players, right? Now can we get the Premier League player? Can we get the international player? And those things come with investment, and they come with knowledge, and they come with work. There's a bunch of factors for how that becomes a possibility. I was very fortunate at a very young age to see that. I was on that path, and then unfortunately it didn't work out for me, right? But I've been around, clubs that have done it at the highest standard, and players have gone on, and so now we're trying to really kind of take out all of our learnings, and we're fortunate that we have the people around the table who understand the level, who understand the standards, and we're putting those things in place. So now players truly have an opportunity here in Jacksonville to have what I call is the NFL career in soccer, right? Yeah. And so it's a very cool moment, but there's still a lot of work to do. There's still a lot of focus that needs to happen, and we're committed to that.
You were too good for those top leagues. That was how it worked out, and their losses are gains. So you know what, we're happy to have you impacting the soccer community of Northeast Florida instead of pursuing those professional dreams you once held as a young lad.
I did. We all have them, right? But I
don't think I ever had any. I don't think there was any doubt about me having a professional career.
Other than top level academy player.
Yeah, there you go.
But again, I've just been very blessed that on the business side, I've been able to take it to a different level. So.
Let's talk MLS Next Pro a little bit more, and just kind of the state of the league. As you said, going into another season that's getting started here over the next month or so, 2 independent franchises. And that is a number that they want to continue to build. Obviously, when the Armada jump in, that adds another one to those ranks. How is the league looking right now as far as the health goes? I know Charles Alchek's running around, going to all these different cities and building this thing up to try and get more and more of these independent franchises to join.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for the league. We're obviously involved on the governor's conversations and various other conversations going on around the league. Connecticut, Cleveland, Grand Rapids was just announced, an incredible ownership group. The project up in Connecticut is very exciting. Their stadium project's very exciting. A lot of these projects coming out of the ground are really focused on the infrastructure and the stadium infrastructure, particularly. So there is so much excitement across the league. It is nice to speak with either other presidents or owners who are really on the same page and understand it and understand what it takes to get to where we need to be. Carolina Core have done a phenomenal job. Chattanooga have been long-time operators and come in and done an incredible job again. And so it's a really exciting time to be a part of not just the league but the sport in general. And yes, the league office are working incredibly hard to navigate the expansion within the different markets. They're looking at some of these hybrid models where let's take the Huntsville model for instance. It is owned by Nashville, the MLS team. But it's branded Huntsville. It looks Huntsville. They play in Huntsville, and it's a very, very cool environment. And that stadium was a $30 million renovation. So, it's happening in Dallas with North Texas as well. They've just broken ground on their stadium in North Texas. So, as those things start to play out and progress, and the blueprint for the MLS teams to have these hybrid teams that are very much independent look and feel, it's just going to keep growing and snowballing. So yeah, there's a lot of excitement around the whole Governor's League office, and where this can go is really exciting, and Jacksonville is lucky to be a part of that.
Which for our casual sports fans, that feels more like a minor league baseball kind of situation where you have a team that's being assigned players from the big league club, but in a different city under a different franchise name, kind of its own business entity running the show in whatever city they're in and trying to provide a product for the people at home to still enjoy it. Because look, that has been one of the criticisms of MLS Next Pro and these two teams, right? Is that, you're sticking a team in an empty stadium, not advertising it. You're just using it as a chance for players to go and get their reps. But we're seeing it more and more that these MLS franchises are realizing, okay, well, maybe if we connect with the community, maybe not the community we're directly in, but somewhere nearby, it's going to make a lot of sense to help build fans for our big MLS club as well.
Yeah, and look, the president, Charles Olczyk, has been pretty clear. He's been pretty public about this. Is that at some point the league splits into Division 2, Division 3 type essence, and there could be some promotion relegation in between. It's easier to have a independent looking promotion relegation than two teams. It happens in Spain, it happens in Germany in Bundesliga. So as they strategically start to work things out, it will become clearer and clearer. But there is definitely a blueprint and a model that is working, and Huntsville and North Texas are certainly showing that. Ventura County over in LA, who's part of LAFC, the town. Which is a great brand, big fan of the brand. Mm-hmm. They do a great job. But that's San Jose's, right? So,
sure.
It's becoming clearer, and everybody's kind of buying into it, and it's fun.
One quick comment, by the way, from the YouTube. Jason wants you to get the NPSL to change the U.S. Open Cup qualification rules. Watching Naples take a spot after we beat them in the playoffs is brutal, says Jason. Yes, Jason, we wholeheartedly agree. But you know what? When we're in the MLS Next Pro, those independent clubs are in the U.S. Open Cup. The U.S. Open Cup, that's a whole nother show's discussion to talk about its future and what needs to change and how they need to bring it back to how it's been. Well, we're not going to get into that. We don't have nearly the amount of time. I do want to hit one more thing before we take another quick break, and that's Chloe Chivers. If we could take a look at her latest bit of masterpiece. Of course, Chloe from Wales played for the Armada women's under-23 team a year ago, and she provided a pair of awesome goals. This one happened just the other day, playing for the Swansea City women's team. And watch this, just muscles the defender, takes a rip, and into the back of the net from Chloe Chivers. Just a tremendous, tremendous goal. And that's the kind of stuff we saw her do for Goffey's team last year. She had at least two like this.
Yeah, she's very talented, and she really did set the tone for those ladies last summer. And it does not surprise me that she's doing this. This, by the way, that's a weekly occasion for her. It's
the contact's my favorite part.
Yes, yeah.
How do you make your own space? You make your own space.
Yeah, she's very physical, and her mentality is. There's a reason why she's playing at that level.
Yeah.
Back in Wales, and yes. Top player.
Awesome.
Top player.
Awesome stuff. Wanted to share that goal for all the Armada fans watching this Fleet and Footy episode. All right, it's time for another quick break. When we come back, we still have Weird Soccer Story of the Week. We got to get to that, Lou's favorite part of the show. So stay with us. We're coming right back. We'll have a quick segment to end it here on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Ancla Dorada. The official bear of your Jacksonville Armada.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jacks, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jacks is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jacks 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville. on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
This is Fleet and Footy on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, sponsored by Alive Credit Union.
All right, we got to take a quick break from the soccer talk here. Lou, we got to talk about this. We got Big Lou.
Me.
We got Big Lou courtside here, and first half of this game was great, wasn't it for JU? That went well. You're going fins up. You got a lot of clapping, laughing, having a great time. How'd that game end up there, Lou?
Unfortunately, it ended up in a Fins loss. They were up 19 at the half.
We got all the clapping
longest
going
winning
on?
streak since 2010.
Courtside as well.
Courtside seats, man. Big Lou, big pimping over here.
Big Lou, the name, implies I do it big. So
Courtside.
How we pulling that? Did you just tell them you're a co-host on Fleet and Footy, and they're like, whoa, we gotta get this guy courtside.
It's my 3rd season being a courtside season ticket member at JU,
Okay.
but
all right,
I'll always support the Fins.
rubbing shoulders with the Hall of Famer Artist Gilmore. I get it.
Artist right behind me. I always give him a nice little
Behind
handshake.
me. By the way, good thing he's behind you and
me.
not in front of you, because you wouldn't
be
see a
able to
thing if
see
he was
it.
in front of you. All right, we're going to get into the weird soccer story in just a second, but first, a quick recap from this past weekend for the Academy teams. Had a away game and a home game here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, the home game was against Athletum FC out of Hialeah. The boys actually didn't lose. There was 2 draws and a win, and that was the Saturday game. Sunday, they ended up going down to Orlando and unfortunately didn't fare as well, but obviously that's tough for competition. There was 2 draws and a loss there, but the 19s are just continuing their dominance over the Florida division, and we're really excited to see. I know Nathan is really excited to see how the future holds for them.
Yeah, no, it's been good. We have a bunch of injuries right now, which hasn't helped, and the schedule is not helping either with these back-to-back games. And I walked into the training ground last night and saw too many injured right now, so we got to get some of those back. And there's some key figures across the 19s particularly. But the academy's going really well. Look, it's crazy to look back and just think that we're only kind of 6 months into this process, and where we want it to be to where it is currently, we're still so far off, and that's a good thing. As we start to kind of strategize and develop over the next, I would say 12 to 24 months, the staff is working incredibly hard on recruiting and making sure that next year we're stronger and we have the talent pool that's here. But, the 19s, we have a couple of really special players in there, and they are currently on the pro pathway. So
awesome.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
it's been really good.
Very good stuff. We love to see it from the Youth Academy. They'll be on the road this weekend, then home the following weekend. All right, Lou, we're wrapping up. Wrap it up with your weird
here.
story. Go.
This is Aiden Scipio. He's from the beautiful country of Anguilla, the Caribbean country there. As you can see, his hair is quite long.
It is, yeah.
I would assume he's Rastafarian, but this is known as like the longest hair in men's football. He has to tie it around himself a couple different times. I just thought the visual is absolutely insane. You get whacked with that big old dreadlock. I mean, look at it just waving around in the wind there. You'll be able to see him play in some World Cup qualifying matches in June, but I specifically tuned into some Anguilla games just for this.
All right, that's good stuff. You've been watching Fleet and Footy here on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 Network. We'll see you